Madam Speaker. Of course, they still need to do more. And this is why we have stood, Madam Speaker, to come up with such a motion so that indeed the government can still do more, allocating more resources to the education sector and the healthcare sector. Let us not forget to say the country's development is built in well-educated people and healthcare facilities. Now, Madam Speaker, if we still have few resources being allocated to the education sector, then we're not going anywhere. Therefore, Madam Speaker, we still urge the government, in whatever they are doing, let them do more so that we can have well-educated children and healthy for that matter. Madam Speaker, I thank you.
Does the seconder wish to speak now or later?
Now, Madam Speaker. I would like to thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity to speak in this August House. Madam Speaker, to begin, I would like to second on what my motion mover has just said just now. Madam Speaker, let's look at the allocation of funds on the 2024 and 2025 budget. In the health sector, they allocated 11.8 in the 2024 budget, and 2025 they allocated 10.7. Year by year, as we look at the allocation, it keeps on decreasing, Madam Speaker. But the question is, even with that 11.8%, it was still not enough. What about the 10.7? Will it be enough? Will it suffice for what we children need? We children are the most vulnerable people in our societies, and we need more than just what the people, these older people, our seniors need. And look at the education sector. In the 2024 allocation, they allocated 15.4, and in the 2025, they allocated 14.5. Then if we were to look at schools like from the Munali constituency I come from, most schools have a insufficient number of desks there. Most children have to sit on the floors because there are no desks. Allow me to quote what the DEB's secretary, Mr. Ian Mioba, quoted one meeting I attended. He said, if you invest in a child, the difference will not be seen now, but 20 years later. So I urge the government to invest now, and we'll see the difference. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Any further debate? Honorable Chilele Komazai from Babala constituency.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to lay down my views. My name is Honorable Chilele Komazai, representing the respective people on Babala constituency. Madam Speaker, the motion at hand today in the August House is urge the government to demonstrate its commitment to children's rights by significantly increasing and prioritizing budgetary investment in quality education and healthcare services for all children across the country. Madam Speaker, I would love to urge the government to extend free education from early childhood education, Madam Speaker, to tertiary level, because I believe that's where there's a lot of pressure, Madam Speaker, than early childhood. Madam Speaker, I believe to say in tertiary level, it's more expensive, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would love to urge the government to advocate the 1997 policy, also known as the re-entry policy. Madam Speaker, how sure are we that as MPs that the government is working to say that they are emphasizing on this policy? Madam Speaker, many children today have dropped out of school due to circumstances such as teenage pregnancy, early marriages, Madam Speaker. And I don't believe as an MP that's quite right, Madam Speaker, for the government to just turn a left eye on this, Madam Speaker. I would really love to urge the government to emphasize more on this policy. Madam Speaker, I would love to urge the government to increase the amount of money that is given out to governmental organizations like CDF, Madam Speaker, also known, or should I straighten it out, also known as Child Development Fund, Madam Speaker. How sure are we as MPs that the money that is being allocated to the Child Development Fund is enough to accommodate all the children, Madam Speaker? Madam Speaker, I would also love to urge the Zambian government to allocate more money to the education sector and the health sector. Madam Speaker, if they allocate more money than the money that they are allocating right now, Madam Speaker, it can develop many people, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I would love to urge the Zambian government to build more nearby schools, especially in rural areas, Madam Speaker, because children nowadays are walking kilometers for them to access school, Madam Speaker, and I don't think this is quite right, Madam Speaker. The same kilometers that they are walking, Madam Speaker, as the children reach to class, they'll be very tired, they'll be exhausted, their brain won't be able to extend more things that are supposed to be learnt by them, Madam Speaker. This is going to affect the education sector, Madam Speaker, because many children will start failing because they're tired of the kilometers that they're walking from home to school, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'd also like to urge the Zambian government once more again to increase the amount of money that is given to the education sector and the health facilities and the health sector, Madam Speaker. Because if the money that is given to the health sector is increased, Madam Speaker, they're able to build schools, they're able to build sick bays, Madam Speaker, because many children nowadays have Speaker. Madam Speaker, if they also allocate more money to the education sector, Madam Speaker, it's going to help them to build more.
Your time is up.
Madam Speaker, I submit.
Any further debate? Honorable Mary Musonda Katiete from Mwembeshi constituency.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to air out the views of the people of Mwembezi constituency on the motion which urges the government to demonstrate its commitment to children's rights by significantly increasing and prioritizing budgetary investments for quality education and healthy care services for all children. Madam Speaker, I'd like to thank the government for free education, which has enabled a lot of learners to go back to school. Madam Speaker, quality education and healthy care are key factors in breaking the cycle of poverty. By investing in these areas, Madam Speaker, it will help learners from disadvantaged backgrounds to improve their socio-economic status. For the past 2 years, the government has shown an increment in the 2022 national budget and the 2023 national budget of 1.5, which I urge the government to do more. If all children receive same quality education and same healthy care, they all become equal regardless of their backgrounds. If the government was to invest more in these areas, schools will have enough funds to purchase resources learners need to thrive. And these resources include ICT devices, learning and teaching materials. With this new curriculum, Madam Speaker, books are limited, which hinders learners who do not have access to smartphones to have information. But if the schools were to purchase these books, the learners will thrive in their quality education. Madam Speaker, there are a lot of challenges which we children are facing. I urge the government to build children's hospital in all districts, more especially in my constituency, because, Madam Speaker, when a child is sick in my constituency, the parents are given a leaflet to come to the University Teaching Hospital or Levi Mwanawasa, where you may find that the parents of the child have little or no money. Even if they have money, Madam Speaker, during the way, the child's situation worsens. I urge the government to invest more in these areas so that they can build more hospitals in these areas. Madam Speaker, I'd also like to urge the government to build more schools because learners have to walk long distances, which is risky for girl child because you may find that the child is supposed to be in class by 7 hours, but for that child to be in class on time, that child has to start off from home around 04:30 or 5 hours, causing high rate of defilement, Madam Speaker. Thank you, I submit.
Honorable Moses Nyeleti from Lusaka constituency.
Thank you, Honorable Member. Honorable Madam Speaker, thank you for this opportunity you've granted for me to speak on behalf of Lusaka Central constituency and the children of Zambia. Honorable Madam Speaker, yes, we acknowledge the government's effort and progress in building healthy posts and providing vaccines. But, Honorable Madam Speaker, challenges still remain. In many clinics, Honorable Madam Speaker, even simple medication, Madam Speaker, parents are sent to go buy medication from pharmacies, which is hindering a lot of families due to the fact that they can't afford a lot of money. Honorable Madam Speaker, CDF can be the solution to this. If more of these funds are allocated or channeled to these sectors, building rural healthy posts, stocking medicine in clinics, and supporting community healthy awareness, and the children will be the leaders that we want for tomorrow. Honorable Madam Speaker, I therefore urge the government to increase the number of funds allocated to this sector. to this sector, I submit. Thank you, Madam Chair.